This Pitboss podcast is brought to you by our very good friends at Molly's Place Sporting Goods. Easily found on Route 213 in Kennedyville on Maryland's Upper Eastern Shore. The hard-to-find guns, the ammunition that's non-existent today, Molly's has you covered. Plus, much, much more. Molly's is your one-stop destination with Molly's Restaurant, Molly's Mart, and Molly's Place Sporting Goods. Visit them online at mymollys.com, MYMOLLYS.com. Fuel your adventure at Molly's. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Quiet on the set. Quiet on the set, please. A very happy Monday to you. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in. This is, I can't call it an early morning edition, but it's definitely, I readjusted there a little bit. It's definitely an AM edition of the Pitboss podcast. Shoot, man. There goes Rye. I probably... I don't know what she's barking at. It's a beautiful day here, though. I should have looked probably before I started this to see exactly what number this is. I'm going to guess this is 33. A little bit of noise in the background, possibly, because I'm sitting out back overlooking the Pitboss Refuge. The Fisher Marine is... I think they're doing a boat lift this morning. They're not doing the bulkheads. Bulkheads would be on the opposite side of the street from us. I hope it's not too annoying. The dogs or the pilings. But I think they're putting a boat lift in. So, yes, this is Pitboss Podcast, episode 33. Kind of doing it freestyle this morning. No notes. I have collected my thoughts, but I have not written anything down. I'm going to rewind a second. It is a beautiful Monday morning. It was beautiful yesterday as far as temperatures go. I think it got up to like 71. They're calling for it to be 72 today. Walked out front with Karen when she left, and the sun is very, very warm. I'm sitting out back in the shadows and in the shades. Of course, I'm always in shorts and flip-flops, but I do have a hooded sweatshirt on. But very comfortable. I came down not as early as I wanted to, but it was really kind of cool just to come out and sit and enjoy some coffee this morning. I did a quick little reel with some great waterfowl audio. The bufflehead were really close to the bulkhead, feeding on the corn. I've not put much corn out there in the Pitboss Refuge for them, so whatever corn is left is a little Drake bufflehead flying through. Whatever corn is left is very close to the bulkhead, and there was a bunch of mallards just going off and a couple Canada geese. Enjoyed my coffee. I've had some breakfast pizza. I'm sipping on some Diet Mountain Dew and just enjoying the weather. 72 is a high today, and they're talking about it only being 52 tomorrow. So the spring has sprung short-lived, but nonetheless, it feels good. It feels really good. And I am kind of procrastinating in a sense. My excuse will be as I'm just letting it get a little bit warmer. But I am going to go out front. The decoy trailer is here. I got some things to get out of it. Probably past 3 mornings, I've kind of tried to rearrange the garage a little bit, kind of making that switch over from duck season to non. I hear some geese. Here they come. Oh, nice pair. Boom, take them. Nice. Nobody else is around or they'd be going off. Double clucking, triple clucking. I think they're going to fly over, though, and see. They are coming to the yard. I still have a nice pile of corn up top here for them. A bunch of sunflower seeds for the birds. Kind of, again, with kind of cleaning out the garage, I went through some old bird seed, got it out there. Gam's collection of wintertime bird food. I threw it out there just to get it out of the house. We're trying to, again, make that switch over from, thought I heard a woodpecker, but it's not. Red-winged blackbird is in the tree in front of me here. But anyway, rambling. But, yeah, we're just trying to make the switch over. And I do need to get a few more things out of the house. Yesterday, after we out and about with the pups, doing all what we do in the morning, our Karen and myself's daily weekend routine. I did get a bunch of stuff out of the house. So we do have somebody coming tomorrow, an appraiser of sorts. So we're not the anybody that stayed here at the house knows. G-off, if you're listening, Jeff and Judy know that we're just not the most organized people inside, and I hope at PBHQ PBHQ will allow me to try to be a little more organized, and or there's things that are not gonna make it from this current address to that address. They're either gonna be given away or gonna be dumpstered. So I'm feeling myself going on tangents. I've got so much stuff that I'd like to give away, but I just don't know really how to organize, truthfully organize to do it, because it's just not going to be given away instantly, and or somebody's going to say, "Hey, can you ship it?" I hate shipping things. We're gonna correct that though. Going way off now topic, but the online store is, I've been talking about it for years, and Scott Moody, thank you very much. It's kind of helped dial me in. So that's going to be a reality. So some of this stuff, maybe we could put the stuff that I do want to give away on the online store, and then that way it's there for free, but I am going to charge shipping if we ship it. So, yeah, got a lot of junk. Junk is a relative word, but got a lot of junk that's not going to make it to PBHQ. It's going to either, again, be given away, or it's going to be dumpstered. It's not making the journey. 7.3 miles away from here. That journey it's not going to make. But back to my original thought for this podcast. Is there anything else I want to say? Yeah, well, and with this, obviously, usually I put this audio on YouTube, but I'm thinking about making this will be later on today, once I do get some of my things done. If you're a waterfowler, I bet you know what that sound is, right? Yeah, probably make a pretty cool little video. Not real long, but a short little video. And where I'm going to go with this is, let's talk about waterfowl bands. I don't really wear a lanyard. I don't wear a lanyard. But my bands are on a lanyard that hangs in the mini Pitboss war room where, historically I did all my editing, which these days I've become a little more mobile, so I don't sit in that small room, a small war room, and edit there anymore. But in front of me, if I can paint this picture, let's count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I'm not doing this to brag, please, I'm not, because there's lots of stories in behind here, and I have been very fortunate, which I'll get into that, but I'm trying to paint this picture. So that was 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. 41 leg bands off waterfowl, ducks and geese. I found some of my certificates. There's only 4 of them, so that's not many. But the one certificate I found, like that, the certificate's here and the band is not, so that's kind of puzzling for me, which I'm not really sure what has happened there. But there's a nice segment of Brant bands in this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 Brant bands. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Canada Goose bands. which two of those crazily were collared. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 snow goose bands, which one of those was collared. And then there are 2 sea duck bands, a mallard band, a green-winged teal. And then the majority, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, happens to be 20 of them are mallard bands that are considered, at least we consider them to be release birds, RSA birds, regulated shooting area, non-wild mallards. So that is kind of the rundown of the bands. And so back to my story, I kind of went down a rabbit hole yesterday on Instagram. And I found this picture of this old Canada Goose band. And it does have quite a bit of wear on it. You're able to make the numbers out, but it definitely, the bottom edge of the band is very, very worn. And there's a 3 on there. And to give you an idea, the 3 is, you're almost up to, it ends in 3 and 1. And between the 3 and the 1, there's a very high peak of wear that went up in there. And I have it in my hand, there's a rubber bib collar that would have been off-white cream colored with black letters, L-E-U. And Diamond actually retrieved that bird. It was a fun hunt. We were, just so my facts are correct, had a collection permit. So we were hunting on the collection permit and basically targeting brant. And at the same hunt, not at the exact same volley, but at the same hunt, did shoot one of these brant bands there with Diamond, and she retrieved it. So the Instagram story, I kind of posted up, not story, a regular post, but the story behind the post. The more I thought about it, I was like, well, heck, man, I really don't touch my lanyard much. It just hangs there. I was like, man, I should go get it out, and it probably is going to be reel worthy, REEL worthy. So I made a quick. Actually, went and dug the collar out. The collar stays with Diamond's ashes. All the pups are not on display currently, just because they're not. Kind of rearranged some stuff, so they are all in the wind started to pick up. They are all in a old chestnut old wormy chestnut chest. Actually, pretty cool looking chest. But all the ashes are in there we have like a little bit of a momentum, shall we say? Yeah, momentum. Most of them have their paw print, and there's just something that helps remind. Well, it doesn't remind me because I remember the dogs very well, but just something that happened when we were together. And I think Karen appreciates that a little bit too. I don't think she wasn't there, so she doesn't fully understand, but at the same time, she knows I've told her the stories behind some of the stuff that is with the dog. So, one bib collar, Diamond retrieved, and that's that bird's not mounted, is not mounted. The first collared Canada Goose that I shot, Coot retrieved, and it was when our AP, the Atlantic population, the migratory bird here in Maryland, the Atlantic flyway, the bird that traditionally winters on the Chesapeake Bay, was closed for 5 years, 6 years, at least 5 years, possibly 6. And this was the first season that it was opened up, and it was a 30-day season, one bird type deal, one bird bag limit. And I shot, let's see, because I'm going through my paperwork here. I do have now I got to stay on target because I'm going to get I got to stay on target. I'm sorry. Yes. Let me find it real quick because it's here. No, it's not here. No, I thought I had their certificate. Here goes another tangent. So, Mark Wingert, thank you very much. He texted me yesterday amongst all that was going on with the from the Instagram post, and he said, did I know? He actually pulled it up for me. He said, did I know that you can go back and get the old certificates? I had no idea you can do this. So here is, and this is Mark Wingert gets all the credit for this, but if you go to PWRC. Too many texts, I'm sorry. pwrc.usgs.gov. G-O-V. You can go and type in your band number, type in your name, and it pulls up the old certificate for you. One of these in question is, let's see if I can do this quickly. Sorry, I did not have this pulled up earlier. Atlantic Brant, Canada Goose. Here it is. So the one that Coot retrieved actually was shot, it says January 9th, 2002. Location just says Maryland. That's kind of poor, but it was over in East Newmarket, Dorchester County, and it was banned in Williamsburg, Virginia. And it was banned in February. So February of 93, and I shot it January of 92. So, and it had it was a rubber bib collar, which to me, those birds were always local, more like local birds, not truly migratory birds. My story, I'm going to go off on a tangent. My story with this is, thank you to Donald Hughes. He had three different rigs set up. Donald used to do his own mounted birds, stuffers, if you will, but mounted birds. Donald called them mounted birds, mounts, not stuffers, as everybody calls them today, it seems like, but I like to go with Donald's terminology and mounts. And we had a stand-up blind. I say we, but Donald had a stand-up blind, he had a ditch blind, and he had a pit. And I would say, I can't remember. I know it was not early, so I don't know if I had a sea duck hunt that morning, and it was afternoon. I can remember it being gray for sure. I can remember shooting my old SP10 Remington 10 gauge, and I can't remember. Some things with these bands I can remember, like I can remember everything. Other bands I can just remember more or less the bird that it happened. Not as much as the intro and the outro of the hunt, if you will, but just the actual act of the band. And with Coots Collard, Canada, I remember more of it where it was at Uncle Andy's. Parked, went in. Donald already had all his mounted birds. He left them out because you just show up and basically you were good to go. And I have to thank Coot for me shooting this Canada Goose because it was 3 birds came in nicely. She was not used to shooting out of a pit. I was done a lot of snow goose hunting out of pits, but not much Canada geese because it had been closed for 5 years at least, if not 6. And they're really busy at it, not pumping, but vibrating those poles, in, aren't they? I'll take a break on my Mountain Dew 1 second. And here these Canada geese come in. I can remember it being gray. Uncle Andy's was a small little peninsula between Cabin Creek. What was the other creek? Slaughter Creek? No, not Slaughter Creek. Slaughter Creek is not there. Little peninsula of land. Cabin Creek, Secretary Creek. How about that? That is where it was. I'm sure today it's all houses. It was getting close to being houses back then in, what did I say, 2002? But anyway, nice little rectangular piece of property. The field itself wasn't big, but it was nice because the two pieces of property next to us, east and west, north and south, however you want to look at it, yeah, it's more north and south. Nothing was there, so it made the field look big, even though the field itself was not big at all. And it was right on the Chop Tank River. But gray, 3 come in. I'm pulling up on the first one, and Coot gets, she was a great boat dog. She was not that great of a, when I say not great Canada Goose dog, she was not steady. She was very loose when she had land under her paws. But the first bird comes in, and again, I'm coming up, and Coot's already kind of breaking, and like she was just basically really in my way, and the bird had landed because I'm grabbing her and on and on. So I come up I'm on the second bird, and I'm almost going to pull the trigger, and I had to look at the third bird, and I could see that collar clear as day. So I assume, if not both of the other ones, I bet you at least one more had a leg band on, which I just can't remember just because I was so excited about shooting the collar. And, went over to Donald's and, so excited. I wanted to show him. I think I have pictures. I have pictures at Uncle Andy's where we parked. And I think pictures at Donald's house too, somewhere in the archives of hard drives. But that's my collared story on one of these leg bands with a collar, rubber bib collar, funnel of Coot. But yeah, so back to the original rabbit hole was finding this worn Canada Goose band that I know that Diamond retrieved. I know that at the same time, I will say before shooting. No, it was after. It was after shot the Brant, and it just kind of brought back a lot of memories yesterday. And again, like I said, the weird thing is after looking at these, some of them I kind of I forgot the moment until I saw the band. Like the Snow Geese, I can tell you exactly. Again, not the intro and the outro, but one of the Snow Geese is a yellow collar, and I can remember shooting it up at Kevin Fox's club right next to Bombay Hook. Happened to pass shoot that one, and I did not see the collar when I pass shot until it was on the ground. So like that's something that again I hadn't forgot, but until I really got the lanyard down and started thinking about these bands. There's one that I'm all over the place. I'll slow down. I had kind of forgot the situational, the situation where it took place. One of these leg bands has I'm guessing a BB or a triple B divot right in the 1557 between the 5 and the 7. There's a big divot. That shot again. Thank you to Donald right outside Hurlock. One of the other ones, Donald and I were shooting together the old bulldozer blind in Hardscrabble, Delaware. Yep. And one was and then there was another one. So I said Kevin Fox the collar. There was another one that was shot there at Bombay Hook, right outside there. One of these Canada bands I'm struggling with is a Build a George. And I told that story back with the podcast 29, maybe. Talking about Donald Hughes and the first time that we'd all gotten together to hunt. And there was a bird in the decoys, and Donald said, hey, when we get out there, if there's any, beware that there's probably some sitting in the decoys. And, I was in the middle. I didn't shoot it. And by the time they'd convinced me to shoot it on the water, like it wasn't a good angle for me. And Bill shot it on the end. And after Bill passed away, I asked his wife if I could have the band, and she gave it to me. I'm having trouble because I don't have the certificate for that one. I'm having trouble. There's two here. There's two here that I believe has a good possibility of being his, and I can't figure that one out. And the other one is, it was a reverse migration Canada Goose that Diamond, again, Coot was not a good goose dog as far as being in the field. We were filming Portage La Prairie, Manitoba. It was the last day of the hunt before we headed on to Saskatchewan. I remember going back, taking Coot back to the truck. I got Diamond out, brought her down, and there were some bands that were shot prior. Yes, there were bands that were shot more to the center of the spread. I was on the right-hand side, and I just didn't shoot them. And those guys said they saw them when they came in. But anyway, I remember a triple coming on 3-pack on my side, killed 2 of them, got excited about the band. diamond retrieved. And I was sure that I dropped the second one, and it was a I can't remember exactly what the field was. It was all rolled wheat. Would it have been? Big field, big field. Lots of rolled bales in it. And anyway, long story short, after the hunt, the diamond did get the third one, and that's what I remember about that bird. And I'm having trouble. Its number. There it is, 1048. Okay, so that is that one. Yeah. Anyway, I need to go through and find Bill DeGeorge's certificate so I can figure out which band it is, which Canada band it is. The Brant bands, after really thinking hard about them, I do remember them well. The very first one was with Donald, and again, I think I told that story. The bag limit was 3. I was a member of the New Jersey Waterfowl Association, and got their newsletter, and they just talked about, hey, all the time and effort, money that they were putting into Brant bands, and they would give their little report in the spring of like what bands were recovered, blah blah blah, all those types of facts and figures. And Donald's, we were in the TDB, and kind of hunting out of, it was in Virginia. Not Captain's Cove. Trails End. Trails End is where Donald had his trailer. Yep. And we actually launched from, I bet you we launched from that ramp. I remember going out on the causeway and launching a couple times with him, and launching from Trails End. But yeah, so that would have been the first one. I can remember truthfully, there's 3 times where I called on Brant, that I called, if you want to say called the shot, and or I reminded people before I sent Coot 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yep, 3 of them for sure. About that I only shoot banded birds, and they were. The one was on a collection permit, again, where like it was foggy, this bird was out in nowhere, and I had a strong assumption that it was crippled because it didn't fly, and again it was just out in nowhere where it shouldn't have been. And I sent Coot after it, and they said, spun around, sent Coot after it to pick it up, and they were like, well, what are you doing? I said, man, I want to get the band off that bird. And they're like, what are you talking about? Sure enough, she came back with it and had a band on it. Jim Hansel, Duck Dog, the commander. I reminded him before I sent Coot that I only shoot banded birds. She came back with the bird in her mouth with one black leg that you could see, and he said it wasn't banded, and I got her across the transom, and I grabbed her by the other leg, and I said, there you go, man. And the last time was the same kind of thing where I shot the bird off my end, and there's more to the story, some names that I'm not going to mention, but yeah, so where am I? I'm trying to take this into a different direction of where. So all these bands that I have, I've just been, I guess, very fortunate, very lucky, whatever word you want to use, especially with guiding, because truthfully, with guiding, I don't shoot that much. I do not shoot that much. So a lot of these were early on. First, they were early on before I was guiding. Here's what I always tell people: you can say you're a guide, and I'm going to say more power to you, because that sounds like I'm not being sounds like I'm backhanding somebody. But you can say you're a guide, brand new guide, but there's not people beating down your door and wanting to go with you. So it's in the beginning, it is slow. So I had a lot of time where I loved to hunt anyway. I had the dogs and loved Donald's company and kind of exploring and then being an adventure and learning and on and on and on. So I basically I went every day regardless whether I had a party or not. So a lot of these bands are represented in early on waterfowling with me. Some of them, like the Brant bands, just being very fortunate where it would have been with a party. The 3 Bird Limits band, the Brant were everywhere. and I would get a chance to say, hey, I'd bring my gun. I would not shoot with the party, but when they were done, hey, can we hang out? And can we hang out and can I shoot some? And or my Jim Hansel experience story where it was just three of us and kind of letting them have their fun, and I was laying back, not really shooting anything, and so much specifically with his story. And the first time when I came up, I was just slow getting up out of the TDB, and the bird landed. And he's like, "Why didn't you shoot?" And I remember saying because it didn't have a band on it. And the next time I shot, but that's why I reminded him that I only shoot banded birds. And I just was super, super lucky there. But I guess it's better to be lucky than good, as the saying goes, right? So for whatever reasons, man, I just have been very fortunate over the years to do bands, to get bands. And the release birds, they're release birds. So, I mean, do they count 100%? I mean, they're banded birds. And they did have bands on them, but yeah, I mean, they're not federal migratory waterfowl. I just picked one up. A loose one here is very heavy. I only have one that is what I would consider to be non-aluminum or more of like an alloy. And I just looked it up. It's probably the oldest duck. Let me pop out of here. Here we go. Nope. It is a common eider. Thank you, Randy Drago. And I was following with Randy on Instagram this year. They shot a lot of banded birds this year, sea ducks. But this was my very first bird I shot with him when we were filming for Migration Nation in Massachusetts. Kind of a slower morning. There was a big swell. We had a little trouble getting set up and really didn't have much decoy, and a hen came by, and typically I don't shoot. I would avoid shooting hens, and I did not have the sense that it was banded, but it was just more of the mindset of like, hey, we're here to film and shoot, and we haven't shot anything yet, so made a nice shot on it. One shot, I was shooting the old over and under. It would have been, I'm trying to think what shells it was. With Migration Nation, it would have been Rio number, I bet you number 2s, I think. 3-inch number 2s from the old Frankie over and under with the black electric tape around the stock. But yeah, it's the only one that I really have that is the alloy, if you will, not straight up aluminum. Here are more geese. A pair coming. Here they come. Don't move, let them get in. Let them get in, let them get here. Let him get here. Take them. Been about a 25-yard shot. They weren't slowing down. It says that it was hatched in 2001 or earlier. It was banned May 29th, 2002, and I recovered this band January 24th, 2018. So my math's not that good, but the bird was at least... That hen was at least 17 years old. Ships Harbor, Nova Scotia, Canada is the location. So it made its journey back and forth for, at least 17 years. Lots and lots of memories. I'm going to put this up over on... obviously, it's going to be everywhere I put my podcast, but specifically, I will put this up on Patreon. I'll put it up publicly. Patreon.com/Jeff Coates, JEFFCOATS. And please, there, or if you're on YouTube, you can comment there too. But have you shot a band? From the Instagram post, there's guys telling me that they've been hunting for 20, 30 years, and 30 years in that time frame, and have never shot a band. So it seems to be with people like it's feast or famine. They don't have any, or they have quite a few. And I don't know. Again, what did I count up in the? What did I say the total was? 38, 42, something like that. Half of those are those RSA birds. So straight up, my Brant bands are the most with, I'm at 9. What did I say? Well, one of those goose bands is Bill DeGeorge, but I got 4, and then 4. Yeah, 4 Canadas and 4 snow. So, I mean, it's not. Obviously, it's more than none or more than one, but I don't have a lanyard full for sure. But I don't know how I've gotten into. I guess from watching YouTube and talking with Jeff on PEI quite a bit, it's got me more thinking about the bands. And again, they just hang on the lanyard. I've got Washington, other things that are on my lanyard. I've got a Washington Brant Foundation back 2002. I don't even know if they're still in existence. It's a WashingtonBrant.org. I don't know if they're still in existence or not. Brant tarsal bands. I've got a little larger, probably more would have been a tarsal band size for a Canada Goose. But I've got some 2007. Yeah, I got some 2007 Pitboss tarsal bands. There's a Tom Flaherty game call on there. There's an old isperformancecalls.com. Man, I can't remember the fellow's name who Performance Calls was. Anyway, I've got a Performance Goose call on here, the Fast Talker. There's a Brant call on here. I can't remember whose Brant call. It's a nice rosewood with, I can't tell whose insert it is, but a poly insert and a dog whistle and a couple of some of these released RSA birds are F you killed me, or F'd again, almost missed me. And there's some Pitboss ones on there. South Carolina Waterfowl. There's a couple of probably 4 or 5 other farm bands on here too. So I think that is all I have to say about my band collection. It's not big, but it's more than none, and it's more than one. So I guess the thing that really is confusing me a little bit is, where is the Scoter band? That one is I've got the certificate for it, and I'm just not sure where the Scoter band is. Yeah, there's a Surf Scoter. It was a Drake. It was I can't even pronounce the island, but Newfoundland is where it was banned. Yeah. All right. Thank you for following along. A very happy Monday to you. Appreciate you taking the time to tune in. I'm going to get busy with busy and enjoy the weather. Take advantage of the weather. Get the house cleaned up. Clean. It's not the cleanliness necessarily. It's the tidiness of just being organized. So I'm going to take a bunch more out to the garage, and I do want to start to get the decoy trailer back in order that I can carve. And I think I'm going to make a later on today, somewhere amongst, maybe closer when Karen gets home, I think I am going to make a YouTube and talk about some of these bands. Might make an interesting YouTube. YouTube's great. It's become more interactive with me. I never really thought of it as like a true social media platform. I looked at it as being just more, I use it to be entertained and or to find out information, trying to do something, how to replace something. I guess I am interacting because I use it constantly, but I'm not on there like typing and leaving comments. So that's the one thing that the factor is that YouTube is very much a social media platform in the sense of people do interact with you. So I know there if I ask a question about bands, and if you shot a band or anything about bands, I'll probably have 20 comments, I bet you, pretty quickly. So if you do not follow us on YouTube, please do so. YouTube.com/Jeff Coates, JEFFCOATS, or YouTube.com/Pitboss Waterfowl. So I think that's all I got. One more good hit of my Diet Dew. Until next time.
It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. Cause baby, I feel real good and I wish I would. Watch out now. It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. Everybody watch out. Watch out now. I'm ready for a good time and I came to